Welcome, Legionnaires. I have some exciting news for you. Divide et Impera has a new campaign on the way, and currently you can play a early access demo of it on the Steam Workshop. It is the Mithridatic Wars campaign. Set in 83 BC, as Rome is ripped in two by two aspiring rulers, Sulla and Marius. You can play as both of these individuals in this campaign. Both have various perks that may help you in your campaign. And also, finally, you can play as the individual Mithridates the Great, king and final king of Pontus. So we'll get straight into checking out these factions, and at first we have Sulla, who you start as the ruler of the eastern half of the Roman Republic. Your influence spans from Asia Minor all the way westwards through the Balkans and parts of Italy to the island of Sardinia. Your expansion is aimed mainly westwards as you start a war with Marius, an open war. But do not be foolish for thinking Mithridates will not return. His armies are licking their wounds from past wars with Rome, and they will soon come for your client states here in the east, which defend your border for now. However, do not despair at Sulla's weak position early on, with war potentially on both sides immediately. Italy is poorly defended, and with Sulla's legion, you are able to, in a few turns, reclaim the eternal city and the heart of the Republic for yourself. Though Sulla does start in probably, I would say, the hardest position for any of these three factions you can now play as, he certainly has potential for early expansion into both Italy and also the East, where you potentially could have a war with Mithridates once again. It certainly is a very interesting campaign, and one for those that are warmongers and love a good battle. I would fully recommend checking out Sulla if you do play the Mithridatic campaign for DEI. As Marius the Younger, son of the famous Gaius Marius, who revolutionized the Roman army, you start with Rome in your hands as you and your father have seized power. You hold on to the western half of the Republic. Most of Italy is in your hand, followed by most of southern Gaul and Hispania, and even parts of the old Carthaginian Empire in Africa. You have many client states, many in Africa and also in Gaul. So use them to what ends you can if you're going to try and defend against Sulla's legions. And you will have to. You'll have to build up a large military because you have very small legions as you start in Italy here. You have only two small half-strength legions to defend against Sulla's veterans. But it will not be easy, as you already start off with a deficit that you'll have to try and supplement with money from trade with the kingdoms around you. With Sulla holding on to the eastern half of the empire where all the trade and wealth is, you must rely on a military and economic build-up if you want to survive. As you can see here with the unit cards for this legion as well, the Roman roster has not changed at all for this campaign. You still are using the Marian legionaries that were implemented by your father, in fact, as Gaius Marius changed the entire Roman army to a more Marian style with legionaries and legions. And yes, so there's no new stuff there. There is a difference in color for the Sulla legions, which have blue shields, while Marius's have reds. That is all the difference there is. There's no unique faction either yet in custom battles for these two factions. So it'll be interesting to see whether that gets added later in when this update actually comes out and is no longer in demo, whether you'll be able to play as a Sulla and a Marius Rome in custom battle. Would be interesting to see for whether we do historical battles and recreate some of the clashes between these two great leaders. And here we have the final faction that you can play as in the Mithridatic Wars DLC for Divide et Impera, and this is going to be Pontus, a very interesting faction and a really cool one to see having it's like the light shining onto it. It's so much focus in a faction that I'd say in Grand Campaign is quite easily ignored, and not many people I'd say would play it. But yeah, you have Mithridates the Great here, the final king of Pontus. And yeah, it's a cool ass faction, that's for sure. And you have plenty of expansion that you can do as Pontus. You can certainly go to the north of here, and there are plenty of nations here in the steppes that you can, in fact, try and expand into. And you can try and dominate the Black Sea trade. And that will, all of these cities up here that are relatively spread out, but also at the same time, that works to your benefit in the sense that no one will come and attack you necessarily up there in the north. Down here in the south of his nation, Mithridates has borders with both Armenia, which you are in close ties with an alliance, and to the west you have the Roman buffer states here, including Sulla as well. You can certainly, once you build up your force and maybe licked your wounds, you will be able to push westwards and take on these states, while Sulla is more interested in what is going on in the west with Marius and his civil war there. As Pontus, you will have a wide variety of units that you can recruit from, including Sarmatian Royal Bodyguard for your generals. You'll also have Greek thorax troops that will be able to match the Roman legionaries. You've got hoplite units that hark back to your influence of Greek culture. And you've got horse archers, which will be able to harass the Roman legions and pepper them with arrows. Many light infantry units as well, which will be able to supplement your cavalry and infantry from Galatia. So you'll also have Celtic influences in your army, which will be able to help greatly. All in all, Pontus starts on a relatively decent terms with most of its neighbours. You've got the Scythians to the north, which you are fairly neutral with and are open to trade. You have Armenia, who is a great ally in the east, and even some of the Roman client states down here are on good terms with you if you wish to delay your assault against the Romans. All in all, this campaign looks like it's going to be really exciting and definitely be up there with some of the other great campaigns that DEI has done in the past. I mean, focusing on a ruler that is pretty forgotten about but does challenge Rome and is a thorn in Rome's side up until the days of Pompey, where he finally is defeated and his kingdom subjugated by Rome. It certainly is going to be a thrilling campaign to play, and I'm certainly going to be playing this on the channel in the future, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we can get up to as Mithridates or as one of the Roman generals. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's sort of giving you a little overview on the campaign and what DEI is getting up to at the moment. I'm really looking forward to checking out more of these, more of this campaign. And yeah, if you guys want to see more DEI content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.